Music in the bottom right. It's Iaguz!
You're not even gonna play the color game? Okay. And in the top left, we have our Teal Terran player for TKQ. I should find out what that stands for, because usually it just says on this little tag, but it doesn't this time. It is forget. Both of them going, I believe, yeah, they both went for a gas first.
Yeah.
And this is a fairly good map for Reapers, so we could see those Reaper shenanigans. Interestingly enough, Iaguz not building this racks at the ramp. I suppose, like, if you're not building that there, ooh, double gas for both. Oh no, not for both of them. So Iaguz is definitely, like, I'd say this is almost certainly going to be a Reaper build.
You know what? Our friend that I like to call Neural Fist, whenever, you know, he was like, come on, learn how to play better, you're not that shitty. Or wait, whoops, sucky. He's like, what does this mean? This Terran took 2 gases. And I'm like, they're being a jerk.
So
like, that's right, they're teching up quick.
I was very wrong. So it is, I guess the extra racks would have needed to go down, but I should, okay, putting down that depot. I was like, is this another barracks?
That's a Vision Depot.
Yeah, Vision Depot, and of course supply, but... So this is a very interesting build. Getting 2 gas very early and a quick factory that is also being like not only getting a factory as soon as possible, but also getting a Reaper with it. So this is a very gassy build, and I'm wondering what he's going to be trying to do with this. We had a Reaper standoff in the middle of the map. Neither of them falling for the grenade bait. Nice positioning from Forget, so if Iaguz does come up here, Forget will certainly get the first shot unless Iaguz happens to scan it first, which is 100% not going to happen.
$10 if it happens.
But there's a second Reaper and a Hellion here, so even with the first shot, it doesn't matter. Ooh, almost nails that grenade perfectly. Oh, the Reaper goes down. Reaper goes down right before it jumps up. So that's a pretty big grab already. You know, getting that damage done early is quite important. And Iaguz is going for this 1 base 1-1-1. Forget has the CC made in the main. Hasn't landed yet, but having that there for extra SCV production, extra mules when the orbital is made will be a pretty big economic advantage. But Iaguz is just being quite aggressive here.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find someone.
Okay. So this is a very techy build, and that's a Viking. So are we gonna? Is this gonna be like a siege tank Viking push? Oh, just getting in on top of this. Everything's lined up for the Hellions to go on, and GG! And we don't get to see what the final game plan was.
The blue Terran wins.
Yes, in this game, blue is always a winner. I believe Seether may have been on the Asian server.
Yeah, but I'm not. It's they're away, and this is gonna auto DQ them. I'm gonna do something about it. I might just force them through, because I can always just def win them later.
Like set them ready?
Yeah.
You mean? Okay, yeah, that's reasonable. The BVB TVT.
What else could that stand for?
Are there any Terran units that start with B?
Battle Cruiser.
Battle Cruiser versus Battle Cruiser. That would be an interesting game.
Yes.
For a second, I thought that was 2-0 because we actually, like, we've been in and out of 2 games, but the first game was definitely not an actual win. There we go. New Gettysburg. This should be an interesting map. Like, interesting map for a TVG.
Okay. Which blue one won?
Iaguz one.
Okay. I thought so, but all I remember saying was blue won. I'm like, wow, that's not helpful. Seathers on North America now. Yeah. Okay. I'm taking care of it. God.
Yes. Susan is doing the dedicated admin plus caster position, handling all of the jobs.
I'm handling all of the jobs and juggling all of the owls.
Yep. You're not just wearing all the hats. You're wearing all the hats at the same time.
Which is funny because it doesn't look like I'm wearing any hats.
That's the trick. So over here in the bottom right-hand corner of our map, we have the blue Terran player, the darker of the blues for Nuovo Gaming, Iaguz.
And in the bottom left, we have the not red or yellow or green or purple or orange. It's Forget. And yeah, I know I didn't say brown. Okay.
Is there a brown in?
No. But there's like gray and pink and stuff. I'm just saying like all the colors on the color wheel.
Gotcha.
Minus brown. Because brown doesn't count.
I feel like that's something we might have to be careful about in the future, because like that's one of those quotes out of context things.
Brown. No. Yeah. Well, my DNA says otherwise. Anyway, how do you feel about this bridge style of map?
I think it creates some really interesting situations, and I think this map has all the cool features of Arena, minus the fact that, like, you know, it's just a lot less dumb of a map. So you know, I mean, I liked watching games on Arena, but when you end up playing it, it's like, oh, why is this even a thing? So this kind of has, like, you know, the coolness factors of it without actually having the abusive potential, or some of the abusive potential. What do you think of it?
I like it because stats went full air on it.
Okay, yeah.
The Golden Armada returns.
Which was basically because of these island bases, yes, with the air blockers.
I don't like how things dumb nut around the air blockers, but carriers.
Okay, that's fair.
So, Iaguz takes a very quick second, or a much quicker second than Forget. Now, this is going to really pay off if he can hold on to it. Yeah,
this time Iaguz going with the macro play. Forget going a bit more aggressive. The 1-base 1-1-1. We'll see if he plans on doing anything hyper aggressive with it. We do have sort of a similar composition to the last game, where he's getting multiple Reapers and then a Hellion. Yeah, gotta take that. Yeah, okay. Takes out the SCV, makes sure that it does not get the Scout. And what the hell happened there? Okay. 2 Reapers shooting an SCV. Somehow the SCV lights on fire. I don't know if you saw that. I hope someone in the chat saw that.
Sorry, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I don't often question, you know, the realism of games, but where did that fire come from?
Well, it's probably from the fuel in their propulsion suits.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Okay, good explanation. Now, a bit of a misstep there by Forget, actually going up the ramp first with the Hellion instead of the Reaper. So the Reaper would have been able to just regen that health back, but the Hellion, you either need to, like, you know, send an SCV to do that, or send it home, or, you know, if you're really feeling like you need a repair, you could land a Mule, but that's just not going to happen here. And yeah, Forget feeling like they can't actually get any damage done here. Just gonna go home. But if they turn around, they can definitely grab these Hellions.
Looks like that will not happen. So the second phase just finishing up for Forget.
So much later though. Because then you have to also consider that like this still needs to be turned into an orbital. It's just
and Iaguz is actually like was 10 workers ahead, only 9 workers ahead now. That with double mules for much longer, it's gonna make a big difference. Now the Cyclone's gonna make quick work of this Liberator.
And it will go down. Gets a few SCVs, wastes a bit of mining time, but overall not quite worth it.
Nice position here on the tank. Can sneak up there, get a little bit of vision.
Yeah, no flying units yet. The medevac will be that vision provider, but you got to be careful with it.
So Hellions running down, trying to get on top of this tank, but with the medevac here, it can just pick it up. Although the Cyclone now making that a very hard decision for Forget. Boosting out of there will just barely not make it.
It almost did make it because Iaguz actually used the lock-on on a different target at first, so I had to wait for that cooldown, but... Or I think. Maybe it was just on cooldown from before, but anyway, eventually does get the lock-on, which takes out the medevac.
We have double armory coming out from Iaguz.
So yeah, I guess that makes sense.
What does that say to you?
Double armory, blue flame. I believe we might have mech. Artosis is pleased somewhere. So yeah, we will have some mech if the game goes on to that point. It Forget's in a defensive enough position that this won't really matter. But we're gonna have one of those really thrilling Bioverse mech games where Forget's gonna have to try and pull Iaguz out of position with all kinds of drops because we do see the stim coming up.
Well, Forget still is quite far behind in workers. And this is becoming a big problem.
Yeah, especially since Iaguz is going mech, right? Like you really want like playing Bioverse mech. It's kind of like that whole mantra of playing Zerg versus anything, where it's like you want to be one base ahead, right? You want to be one base ahead of them. If you're not, then you're very far behind. So if the meching player has more SCVs, more bases, like how do you actually win that? Because you're supposed to win the game by being mobile, and you're less cost efficient, but you just have more stuff. But has the third CC even? Okay, yeah, third CC has started, but that's gonna be a long float. Not even building it like over here on the low ground. That is quite a long float. The question becomes how does Forget do enough damage to Iaguz to
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is sneaky. Okay, so Iaguz not feeling like he can defend this area. So just gonna lift that off and go elsewhere. Oh, but he's coming down. Gonna try and push up this ramp.
Job.
Looks like he's just gonna try and bust it.
Well, I guess he can do that because he has so much stuff. GG! Iaguz takes this 2-0.
Yep, 2-0 for Iaguz. That means he moves on to the semifinals.
And he's also the brighter of the blues.
Not in actual color, but